After all of the difficulties with COVID, children had missed so much in education. And we thought one really powerful thing to do was invest in reading. Reading being a magic bullet, not only for children's fluency and confidence as readers, but also for their own well-being.
Reading is the key to everything, opens up all kinds of opportunities. Everybody got involved, from local boy Dermot O'Leary, Michael Rosen.
Dementia cafes, adult community learning, parent ambassadors.
Every primary child having a library card, if you're talking about legacy, that's powerful.
It helps enormously with education and attainment, but more importantly, with well-being and happiness. And I believe that a book that is read for pleasure, read on your own terms, is dynamite that can blow those walls down, that you find yourselves in books. I think Ian Foster said, we read to know that we're not alone. So people in the most extreme circumstances can find their way out by knowing they're not alone.
If you think books are really quite dry, so we have to make them come alive, particularly for young children who haven't had the experience of lifting print off the page and hearing voices. So when they see me performing, what you're doing is giving life to words on the page. So when the child goes back to print, then they learn how to fill it with voices. Well, what I do in the show is I sort of walk through some of my poems and stories, telling the children kind of how I wrote them, or what sort of themes to pick out, or maybe the kind of techniques that I've used in order to give them a kind of platform to write themselves. But I'm also at the same time trying to get them to participate, join in and learn some of the poems.
My name is Christian Foley. I'm a spoken word educator. And what that means, kind of like exactly what it says on the tin, I use spoken word to educate. Now, what books provide is escapism, and that is a mental diversion from an unpleasant reality. And life is hard, life is gritty, and life is tough, particularly for children growing up. And books are this portal to another world where anything is possible. So I think that books, what they offer is this like limitless freedom that our everyday lives constrain, you know. I think what the Essex Year of Reading is really about is this idea of trying different things. There are some students in this room who, if I asked them at the beginning, do you like poetry? Most of them would be like, not really, I don't know, I don't think so. They kind of see poetry as this like unknowable ocean that's really scary and they don't know how to swim, okay? But by the end, they realize poetry is a playground, okay, that's available for all. It's this amorphous form, and I think that that really offers a lot of potential and possibility for kids. And I think that's like, once they realize that, they're like, oh, I can play with this. This is Play-Doh for me, and have fun with it.
Reading was helpful because it just let me get away from the world, and it just made me feel happy. And if I was sad, if I just read a book, I'd stop crying and I'd just get so into the book, I'd finish the book by the end of the day.
I love reading because it makes me happy. Well, I was struggling a bit with like online classes and stuff like that, but reading helped me like gain all the knowledge that I've missed out on.
During lockdown, if you ever feel lonely, you can read a book and you'll have someone there with you. It's magic.
I love reading because when you find the right book, you just can't put it down and your imagination will flow wild.
When I read a book, it just brings another part of me to life.
A book would take me somewhere better in life because I get more knowledge of what I have to do to be better in life and what I want to do as a job.
The legacy of the Essex Year of Reading has been fantastic.
Early evaluations certainly suggest to us that we're getting closer to our underlying ambition that all children should read in line with their actual age.
You look at Thinking Reading, which is a secondary-based programme, where you're looking at 2 months of reading age gain per taught half-hour session. That is absolutely phenomenal progress. That's the key to the curriculum.
Raising their self-esteem, their confidence, and reading will just form the backbone of all learning right across the curriculum from now on beyond.
It allows young people to make progress, it allows them to get qualifications, but more importantly, it allows them to live. If kids can read, they can pass GCSEs, of course they can, but they can go to the shop, they can make healthy choices, they can read labels, they can read the backs of cans. It's making sure that actually they can live a life they can earn, they can sustain, and they can build towards their dreams.